We're now going to be looking at how to use Ally and PowerPoints. Now, PowerPoint is a Microsoft Office product, so many of the things are the same, but there are a few differences. So I just wanted you to take a look at those. So we look again at our course. We are at a pretty good accessibility rate, but we're going to be OCD and keep going. So in this case, we're going to look at images without a description. In this particular case, I'm a little bit sad to hear these came from the publisher with missing things, but we'll see what we can do. You can also reach out to the publisher and ask them to fix it, but I found sometimes they just pull pictures out. So let's take a look at this first one. Again, give it a few minutes and Ally will show you exactly which images we need to work on. So if we look at it, it's on page 24, on page 27, and we have page 31. So these are some pretty complex images, which is probably why they didn't bother alt tagging them. But I think we can take a minute and alt tag those as well. So again, we want to download that file. I've got it right here ready for us. And we can see an invitation to help. Now again, always double check. Let's see what it's telling us as far as review and have it check accessibility. And sure enough, it's pulling up the same thing. So they should have figured it out. Also, there's a duplicate title slide. And that just makes it a little bit confusing. Super easy to fix a duplicate title slide. If you look here, click on that. It says discussion questions, 1 of 2, discussion questions, 1 of 2. So all we need to simply do is go to the second one and say 2 of 2, and your problem is solved. Now, let's go off and fix those alt tag images. So again, we remembered it was somewhere around page 26 and 27. So here's our image that has no alt tag. Click on that. Again, right click, view alternative text. In this case, it actually doesn't. Now you can try generate alt text for me, but diagram. Didn't think that was going to work all that well. So we don't want to approve of that. So in this case, we want to actually explain what this is. So this is where we look at the detail. This is a synapse. Showing movement of dopamine affecting brain pathways. This may be a little bit difficult. Also, as we talked about with these, you might actually want to give a little bit more of an explanation. So that has marked that one. Click on missing object. It'll take us to the next one. So we add a description of opioid is the one I always spell wrong. And as soon as you get that done, click X, and then we go on to our third one. Prescription drug abuse numbers. In this particular case, because we can't actually have that out, I would actually recommend in the future pulling that entire chart out to make sure that people can actually know it, especially if that's going to be used on a test. Creating your own table. But in this particular case, since it's just giving a description, we can leave it right there. So with that said, we have now saved this. We can close it out and let's try and see how we did. So in our downloads, again, we want to refresh our download page. And we have this right up at the top. Let's drag and drop to see if we actually manage to get this a little bit more accessible. Now, again, with some of these, we are at this point, we're at the right numbers. So we're really just trying to get things a little bit more perfect. But I wanted to make sure that you saw what we actually need to do and how, again, Ally can bring us to getting to the closest possible. Again, 100% is fabulous if you can do it. Now, you may notice right here, there's another PowerPoint that's listed as 61%. That is one of my personal old ones. So I know that this is a problem. And I want to take a look at that because that's where we can start to see there are quite a few problems. Again, I liked using this light color, but again, with this lighter thing, that might not have a good contrast. This is also a font I'm not particularly thrilled with anymore. I liked it at the time. Now, what I really want to do is I wish there was just some way I could just have one thing change everything, and there is. So if you come across an old document like this that you really still want to use, but you don't want to have to change every individual page, again, we go to our view and you want to click on Slide Master. This will give you the chance to edit everything all in one place. So, for instance, I want to make sure that I change the Slide Master title because I don't like that lightness. So, when we look at the font, we're going to switch this to Calibri, my particular favorite. I also want to make sure that we pick a black color. Oops. Undo. We didn't want to change the whole grayscale. Um, With the font, we want to make sure that the font is in black. Customize font. So we see that everything is right there. Master subtitle, again, we're switching all of those fonts, so this is really getting in there. Um, we also want to make sure that all of these different levels are looking good. And then we can say, okay, this is ready to actually apply it to, oh wait, Calibri, we've got that as well. And I just want to make sure that that's in black because that was looking just a little bit light. So I think we now can see that this is showing as much contrast as we can. Oh, there we go. Make all of your changes in here. And then we go back to the file and we see that everything is actually going to be changed. So let's close master view and we can start to look. And all of a sudden, all of our things are looking just a little bit better. Now, we do still have some of these things in here. These are in red. That's going to be a problem. So I'm going to have to go and change those. These are also bad links. Remember, we're now linking them in a much better way. This is an old description. And we're missing a few object title descriptions, but you know how to make a difference there. Missing title slide. If you look at slide 3, it will tell us what's going on there. And we have this duplicate slide title. Okay, so for number 3, I forgot a title at all. So when you start looking at duplicate title slides, this is where, again, in an old style, I would have complementary medicine, complementary medicine, complementary medicine. In this particular case, you want to make sure that each one of those is different. You can do those just by simply saying acupuncture, for instance, in this case, acupuncture 1 of 3, acupuncture 2 of 3, acupuncture 3 of 3. That's going to start making that difference. Or you can give subheading titles so that they're a little bit different. So it could be acupuncture, um, acupuncture basics, and then your next title would be acupuncture key, and our final. So what that does, it just makes it easier for the screen readers to read all along. So again, you can see that there's very easy ways to start fixing these to get them up to standards. There's always going to be other issues, but again, look in here and you're also going to find more information about how to fix and additional information right there. I hope this helps and good luck.